Hey guys, I've had some of you express interest in seeing behind the scenes and what we do when we jump onto a case as far as the investigation itself goes. So I'd announced that we will share a video kind of showing that, so that's what we're going to do tonight. I've had a few different viewers reach out to me about a case. This is Billy Bob and Mary Lou Black. And I always start by pulling up well, before we get into this too far, as we get into this, please don't feel like I'm ignoring you guys or not bringing it straight into you. I have heard about this case, but not details. I have not really looked into this case yet. So you're going to see exactly what we do going into this. I will be doing a lot of talking out loud. Megan is normally over here. She'll have her computer out. We're both taking notes. We're both very vocal back and forth on what we're uncovering. So this will be a little one-sided tonight. Megan is behind the camera right now. So any time that I'm really quiet, Megan will probably step in and kind of narrate a little bit, you know, what I'm doing, why we're doing this, different things like that. But I say it's pretty cut and dry what we do, but it gets very time consuming. The first day looking into these cases, it's not as time consuming as it does get. But we're going to walk you through what we call day one, which means the day that we initiate our investigation on a missing persons case. So now we will go ahead and jump into this. We have their flyer, Billy Bob and Mary Lou Black, missing from Atchison, Kansas in September 11th, 2009. He was 74, she was 72. Billy and his wife Mary disappeared from Atchison, Kansas at 8:15 a.m. on September 11th, 2009. They left their home in the 2400 block of Pacific Street in their light blue four-door 1990 Honda Civic with the Kansas license plate number AWX 605. Yes, that's correct. And never returned. Their vehicle has never been located. It has paint missing from the hood and its exhaust system is loud and dangles from the undercarriage. After their disappearances, the lights were found turned on in the Blacks' home. Billy and Mary's driver's licenses were there, as well as a checkbook and some cash, and Billy's insulin was in the refrigerator. They have one son together. By the time of their disappearance, both Billy and Mary had severe health problems. Billy was stressed from having to care for Mary and told their son it would be better for him if his parents weren't around. Authorities and members of the Black families believe they're no longer alive. One theory is that they drove accidentally or intentionally into the Missouri River. Now we know Mary, let me reread this to make sure whose insulin was. Billy's insulin was in the refrigerator, so Billy was the diabetic, and we know that Mary had, and again, Megan, if you could say the name.
She was suffering from Alzheimer's.
So we do know there's a lot of medical issues here that makes being away from their medicine potentially dangerous. Some red flags that jump out to me, and again, I'm not going into this just for you guys, not to sound mean or anything like that. This is stuff that we actually do when we do this. So what we're doing is not out of the ordinary. I just want you guys to understand this is fully what we do working on this case.
See, there's where we take our notes, and so see, we actually do the work.
So some of the big red flags to me on this case, number one is the obvious concern about the medicine and the health problems. Number two, their driver's licenses were both found in the house, as well as their checkbook and cash. The fact they've been missing for, I believe this is 12 years now, and the vehicle has not been located. Atchison is not a big area. It's 35 minute drive from our house to Atchison, Kansas. The Missouri River does run through there. I know Adventures with Purpose come out and they put their boat in the Missouri River at the Atchison boat ramp, and then they went to another location. Those of you who watched their video, the road turns into a field. They followed that all the way back, turned down along the banks, and was going in the river there when a farmer showed up wanting to know who they were, what they were doing on his land. And after they explained to him, you know, yes, please go try to find answers, that farmer actually lives 2 or 3 houses down from me. So coincidence? Who knows? But they did search. They had a couple points of interest, but I don't believe they found anything that was linked to this particular case. So at this point, I would go through and take notes on all the important things on here that stand out that I'm going to need to look into more. There was something okay, 8:15 a.m. But we had tried to record this a few minutes ago, and we were using my Tacticam. This camera is so handy, and I bought it originally. It mounts to either my rifle or my bow to record my hunts. And we are going to be able to put this to so much use out here on our searches. And this actually links through Wi-Fi to my cell phone. My cell phone has a lot of voice commands on it, so when I would say Google or something, it was jumping in and changing the screen, stopped recording, all of that good stuff. So this is going to be very handy out in the field. My good buddy Curtis Lindsay is actually, I believe, a sales rep for Tacticam down in the state of Texas. And Curtis, you and I still have to get together and go hunting sometime. But check out Tacticam, Tacticam.com. They even have these that are specifically for underwater. This one's waterproof, weatherproof, all of that good stuff. But enough about them. They're not a sponsor, nothing like that, but if it's gear that we use, it's good gear. I want to pass that off to you guys as well. We don't get nothing out of that. So anyway, back into the case. I will take all my notes down, and at that point, and the point that we're at now, I think I want to go ahead and jump over to Google Earth. And I'm not the best typer in the world, because we know they were missing from the 2400 block of Pacific Street. My computer ain't the fastest in the world. I got a little Chromebook. Megan has the fancy one that's all touch screen and everything, and I just ain't quite got there yet. I'm lucky to figure this one out. So let's go ahead and look up 2400. That was not what I was wanting to put.
No.
2400 Pacific Street, Atchison. Okay, so now Okay. So here we are at 2400 Pacific. So this general area is where they lived, according to this report. So if they would have left here, let's see where the river is. The river's over there. Looks like 59 would probably be the best route over to the river.
Yeah.
There's the bridge. See, Atchison looks a lot bigger on here than I think it really is.
Yeah.
And you've lived here all your life, so you've been there a lot more than I have, but
Atchison itself is more rural. The city or town part of it's not that big.
so we're back over here. This is kind of getting my attention right
Yeah,
there.
this pond here.
Because there's plenty of areas here that a vehicle could access that.
Is that a pond or a lake? Did it say?
It doesn't say, but we will definitely be checking this spot out. Let me write the coordinates down. And again, there will be a lot of silence as we write notes down. And like I was saying, this is the first time of really looking into this. There's another lake right here. Ooh, look at that one.
Ooh. That one looks good too. Hey, there used to be a bridge there.
Yeah.
Wonder how long ago that disappeared.
This one, because there used to be a bridge there, we're going to need to go back and see when that bridge come out of there.
I'm wondering if that's the old Atchison Bridge that they took out, like I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, and replaced it with the new one.
Well, they don't have nothing there
Well, yeah,
yet.
true. And that's probably a different location.
I'm going to put a star by that one.
Okay.
Because that really,
It's right down Parallel Street.
that really gets my attention. Do a quick scan around this. Oh, this image ain't clear. That's kind of standing out to me, something right there.
This is a lot of what we do, staring at bodies of water, trying to make images appear.
And the sad part is a lot of times if you stare hard enough, you could see the shadow from a log or something and literally convince yourself that that is a vehicle. See, I'm seeing stuff out in here too. I don't know how deep this is. I know Atchison has several of these small lakes around it. 'Cause there's the first one, there's this one. There's more out here, there's these over here. Basically, we're going to need to go to all of those lakes.
Yeah.
I want to say there's 8 or 9 different fishing lakes in Atchison alone.
Okay, the first one we looked at, was that the one closest to their address?
That is closest to the address, this one here. And in fact, it's still on Pacific right here, then you turn and you're there. So this one might actually be the first one that we check out. And then we will go to the other one if this one comes out clear.
Okay.
And if both come out clear, we're going to need to check every single lake out there. And then at that point, and I'm looking more at those as far as seeing references that, you know, as much as we don't like to talk about it, an end of life thing, maybe, you know, with it being said here that Billie was stressed from having to care for Mary, told their son it would be better for him if his parents weren't around. You know, there's some red flags there that maybe they just wanted to go out together, you know, and maybe they felt that would be a better ending than going through life with medical problems and him stressing. You know, none of us like to think about that, but, you know, we don't know them, we don't know, and we do have to look at that in a case like this, especially with this being said. I do want to try to contact the son and talk with him.
Yeah.
And kind of get more information from him on this, what was going on, and kind of get his perspective on this, and even ask him about these lakes, what he would think about those being a possibility. But I do believe, these two especially, but I do believe those all need to be searched.
That's another thing we like to do. We like to look at the small bodies of water first before we go to the rivers, because usually, for the most part, you can find more stuff in the small ones.
And there's another one right here.
Oh my goodness.
This one might be on private property.
Yeah, that looks like it's attached to this farm.
So at this point, while they could be potential areas of interest, at this point I believe my focus is going to be on the public lakes out there. And then if those check out clear, then we can move to private property and clear any potential areas of interest. But we are definitely going to have to check the bridge on this one. And these lakes are definitely going to have to be checked. And I got to take a second to plug my computer in. I am down
there.
1 minute, and it's already plugged in. So yes, this stuff happens too. We got to jump up and plug our stuff in because we're always using it, working on these cases and stuff. But there is, I mean, that bridge right there is really, really.
Yeah, I'll look up how long ago that was taken down. Maybe that'll be a helpful clue. I
And
haven't.
you know what?
What?
There is a lake right here, Warnock Lake, that we actually go to fish.
Okay, that's our fishing spot.
Two of my top 3 largest bass come out of this little lake. And it does have a boat ramp, easy access. So we will need to check this one out as well. That would be after these top 2.
Now, I can't remember how many spots were already searched, or was it just the river?
All that I'm aware of that Adventures of Purpose searched was they put in those 2 spots on the river.
Oh, okay.
When they did put in Atchison, it did appear they went down past the bridge. Because there's two boat ramps, I believe, in Atchison. There's one.
Okay, that one did look familiar.
And there's 2. So they did put in one of these ramps because somewhere through here there's a creek that runs through, and they took their boat up that tunnel. And they did come down past the bridge. And I will likely send a message to Jared and see if he will respond, and let him know that, you know, we're also going to be looking at this case and trying to confirm with him what areas that he did clear. And that's the beautiful thing about other teams working on these cases, is it gives the opportunity to share information, areas that you've cleared, what you've done, areas of interest of you that you may not be able to get to right now, but another team may be able to. You know, teamwork solves a lot of problems, and I believe, well, obviously teamwork with you all reaching out to us, cases that you feel we need to look at, somebody needs to look at, answers need to be found, sending us your theories, information, leads, tips, ideas, locations. I mean, it's all about teamwork, and that teamwork is all geared toward finding answers for these families. So that's the beauty of having other teams that have searched. You know, if I've done a search for somebody and another team is going to come in and they're going to do some searches, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to tell you everywhere that we've looked on that case, what methods we used, what we did or did not find, any information to help find answers. And that's just the beautiful thing with this. So at this point, I'm already starting to get the game plan that the pond closest to where they lived. That's the beauty about this. I don't have to keep searching to try to, because that's not very far. Now, keep in mind, I don't know exactly which one of these houses over in here may be it. I don't have the actual address. All I have is a 2400 block of Pacific Street. And this is what come up. So it's got to be somewhere around in here.
I'll dig deeper so we can find it.
And that is so close.
Yeah, that's really close to that pond.
And even in today's time here, you know, I don't see no gates. So if it was like you know, let's just go out together, you know, then there's no gates to keep you out of there. It is relatively secluded. What is that?
Maybe a boat. Maybe one of those little paddle boats. Possibly.
Weird that would be over there on
Unless,
public and there's no vehicles here.
Maybe it was part of an old dock.
I mean, this may not be anything related. Oh, I bet that's... Let me get back up here.
Unless it's a drain, like a
That-
knock.
Yeah, there's the drain, because there's where it comes out. It comes
Yeah.
through the dam.
Okay.
So that kind of threw me off for a minute. Like, what in the world? Because I was thinking of boat too, but I'm not seeing no vehicles over here.
Yeah.
So that explains that. But I think this area needs searched first. And then the one that had the bridge, if those clear out, we need to finish up the small lakes around Atchison. If those are clear, then some of these private property ponds, go ahead and try to get access to some of them. Then if we've cleared all of those of interest, then number one, the big concern is the Missouri River. Then we also got to consider, you know, we cannot rule out an accident here. You know, there's nothing that points one way or the other. So not being able to rule out an accident, and as you said just a bit ago, it is pretty rural out here. It's going to be trying to find locations where they may have had an accident and driven off, and their vehicle just not been found. I mean, as you can see here off of 73, this looks like a pretty steep ravine going down through here.
Yeah.
And I know that area is full of spots like that. I mean, this whole section of Kansas is like that, it seems like. So that is another possibility that we will have to look into. Make a note of that. So I think our game plan on this will be digging into these lakes more, the lake closest to where they were, closest to the 2400 block of Pacific Street. And then if that clears, the lake with the bridge, but I still want more information on that lake. And the thing is, around Atchison, these little lakes like that, you know, there's always the potential you're going to find something of interest that's not even related to this case.
Yep.
So a lot of our search areas we have lined up fall in that category. You know, we're hoping to find something linked to a case we're working, but the potential of finding something linked to another case is extremely high. And even some of them, some of the spots, you know, could overlap. The Randy Leach case and the Star Boomer case, you know, there could be something in the water from either or, but this one, I mean, this one, and obviously we're going to have a lot more digging to do into this case. And again, I would like to get in contact with their son and talk with him. In the Adventures of Purpose episode, if I'm remembering right, there was another individual who actually went with Jared and Sam and Dan on their searches. I would even like to get a hold of him and talk with him for a little bit. And I may end up reaching out to the Atchison County Sheriff's Department on this and letting them know we're going to be doing some searches in the area, and kind of gives them a heads up so that way if we do find something, they know we're out there, and just try to establish that, I don't want to say working relationship, because we're not law enforcement, we're not affiliated exactly with them. But right now, the game plan's coming together, so we're going to leave it at this. I believe Chrissy will be over here at some point this weekend, and by then, you know, tomorrow we'll have a lot more information on this case. We will make sure to keep you updated as this progresses, and you know, I know it's a little bit kind of different video. Hope we didn't bore you too much with it. And in all honesty, a lot of these cases takes several hours to do what we've been able to do on this, but we do know the area since we live so close to it, so that really helped out. But the Karina McClurkin case, for example, I've been through Indiana, but I've never stopped in Indiana. Didn't know the area, so that one, just this initial digging into the case took several hours. In fact, it was over the course of several days, as with most of our other cases. So this may not have been the best example to use, simply because we got through this so quick. And by getting through this, I don't mean we're done with this by any means. We're scratching the surface. But we will keep you updated as this progresses, as we move forward with this. We will definitely bring you along on our searches on this. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comment section anything you think we may need to do different, any suggestions. Let us know what you would like to see in the videos from us, what you would like to see us air. That as well, you know, we appreciate your support, we appreciate you being here with us, and we want to put out content that you want to see, as well as helping these families. So let us know what you want to see, and we will see what we can do to incorporate that into this. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on notifications. You don't want to miss our other videos coming up very soon. So for now, till next time, y'all stay safe, and let's bring some of these people home.
Bye guys.